happy to have as my guest today my dear friend and business colleague, Kathy Bernard. Kathy is editor of So Beautiful magazine. Kathy, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Martha. I'm so happy to be here.
This beautiful dress. Go ahead and tell me about it.
I just love this dreamy dress. Well, today we're going to be talking about slotted seams, which is a couture technique that in the past has been a little bit difficult to do and required a lot of precision on the sewer. But with new products like wash away thread, this has become very easy. On this gown, Sue Pennington Stewart made this beautiful gown using as the insert a see-through silk organza, and underneath the color pops with the colored slip that she puts underneath. So you could actually use a pink slip and have more of a pink hue coming through on the slotted seams, and she's decorated it with a dotted machine decorative stitch. What I love about this one is she's used silk satin ribbon as the insert, and she's used hand French knots to embellish each side of the slotted seam. And on this one, she's picked up some of the skirt fabric, which is a green silk dupioni, and this is a brown velvet, and this wonderful sparkle that she adds to both sides of her slotted seam with little tiny beads. And if you notice, there's no real top stitching. That's just caught with hand-stitched little beads on both sides. So let me go to the boards and show you exactly how to do this. It's very easy, but first I'm going to show you how to prepare your pattern for it. When you want to add a slotted seam to any pattern, on this particular basic bodice pattern, I've just drawn a straight line where I want to add a slotted seam, and I want a slotted seam on the center front fold. To do this, I've determined that I want to use a 1/2 inch seam allowance, which is from this blue line to the edge. That means I had to add an additional 3/8 inch to the edges, the cut edges of this pattern, and to the center front, because I'm going to be folding this back, and this little section here, the 1/8 inch here and the 1/8 inch here, is going to make a 1/4 inch open slotted seam. Now, you can also make a closed slotted seam, and in that case you would just add the whole 1/2 inch seam allowance. And this is a wonderful technique, because when you move and bend with the garment, that little peak that just peeks through as you move in the garment. You can also make a curved slotted seam, and you would use a bias strip as your insert piece. First thing you're going to do is imagine this as our bodice, and we've cut it right down the middle. We're going to fold back our 1/2 inch seam allowance and press. Then you're going to place that right side up on your slotted seam insert. We would draw a line with a blue wash-away marker, which 1/2 inch from this edge and 1/2 inch from this edge, which you can see creates that 1/4 inch opening in the center. You pin that on, lining the fold edge up to the line on both sides. I like to use water-soluble glue too, because that makes an easy join right there and keeps it firm when you're stitching. The next step is you want to set your machine up with water-soluble wash-away thread, and you're going to stitch this seam 1/2 inch from the edge all the way down on this side and all the way down on this side. Then you're going to switch back to regular thread, and you're going to finish. You can serge finish or zigzag finish each of these edges, but don't trim this seam, because you'll need that for support when you do your top stitching. So you see that makes a really nice opening here, and it's firmly caught with our water-soluble basting thread. All right, the next thing you want to do is secure these two sides with a top stitch 1/4 inch from the fold edge. Again, Sue used beads on one side and French knots, but you can also use decorative stitching or machine embroidery. The next thing you do is you can use a steam iron to open up and dissolve that thread, and it cleanly opens that up for you. When you wash this, all of the marking and all of the thread will disappear, and you've got your open slotted seam, and it's just that easy.
Well, Kathy, that is a beautiful technique, and so much fun to use those different ribbons and fabrics. And,
oh, it's great. It adds so much color and texture to a garment.
And it's so much fun just to do.
Just to do, yeah.